It's time to set up our April 2019 budget. Stick around to see what we have planned. Hi friends, welcome to the Budget Bounce. I'm Jen and we use a budget to tell our money what to do, include bouncing debt out the door. We share our ups and downs from living life on a budget and tackling a $252,000 mountain of stupid debt. If you'd like to follow us on our journey and learn more about living life on a budget, being intentional with your money, and making your money work for you, then click on that subscribe button below. And be sure to tap on the bell so you'll get notifications every time I post a new video. You can also find me on social media. Just look for the Budget Bounce. I'm on Instagram almost every day, so you'll see a lot more content over there on a daily basis. Let's get going on the budget for April 2019. I know it's going up a few days late here, but I actually recorded this at the end of March. I've been having all kinds of issues with audio and also with editing, which has been extremely frustrating and has slowed down my video production, like brought it to a halt for several days. And the sound thing I have been fighting for weeks, and I finally decided I'm just going to record this with the not so great microphone that's in my laptop. So hopefully you guys can hear me better. I'm talking a lot louder, hoping that that will come through for you. So here we are. This is April, and what you can see here is I have copied over March. I literally copied over March here, and I deleted everything out of actual. Okay. So I've already set up our standard income for the month, and that's our full-time income. And I actually blocked that out just for privacy reasons. We don't have any other carryover from March, so we are set up with $8,798.95 is what we're budgeting for our take-home income in April. Giving, I've just cleared that out. We will have some things this month, but that's all going to be funded by sinking funds, and I don't know how that's all going to play out, so I'm just going to leave that blank for now. So then looking at housing, we have our standard mortgage at $936.04, our gas and electric at $207. I don't have anything in here right now for utilities for our water, garbage, sewer because it's quarterly, and in March we didn't have to pay that, but I do expect to have to pay it in April. So I'm going to put in $250 here, and because I think that's about what it'll be. Then for mobile services, I know that this is not going to be as much. It's actually going to be around $198 in April. And then we have our internet service for $89.99 a month. So that brings our total housing to $1,681.03. Then if we move on to transportation, I'm not going to change anything here. I think we're going to spend about $280 in gas. We are traveling. We are going to my sister's in April one weekend, and then another weekend I am actually driving my daughter Xanthi down about 8 hours away to go to her best friend's baby shower. So we're going to just take the weekend, just the two of us, and go do that. So I expect to spend all of that $280 and maybe even more. And then OnStar we still have at $35.99, which brings our total transportation to $315.99. For food, I'm going to leave this at $425 for groceries and $75 for dining. And then in the Henry category, I am going to be doing, let's see here, there's no fees. I'm not sure on lunches right now, so I'm going to leave that blank. Mathnasium, that is his math group tutoring over at the tutoring center. And so that is $319 per month. So we have to pay that in April, and we have one more month after this to pay for. So that brings the Henry category to $319. Pets, I believe we're going to have $15 in grooming for sure. I also think we're going to buy some food, but I'm not sure what that's going to look like just yet. So I'm going to leave that blank because that'll be completely covered by a sinking fund. And so I got comments from folks that were confused by how I was adding sinking funds into our income. And so I'm trying not to do that this time to make it more clear. So what's going to happen is when I add this expense here, let's say it costs $50. What I'll be doing is, yes, this will be showing here as $50 going out, but I'm also going to take $50 out of a sinking fund and add it to income. So we have $50 coming in, and it'll zero itself out. So it won't actually have an impact on what I have budgeted for the month. I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to try it this way this time. Please feel free to give me feedback to let me know if you would rather see me actually take those actions here in the video. So we're planning, we know $15 for sure in pets. And then for insurance, this is just all the insurances. These are all insurance that comes out of our checks. And then we have, this is all what we have with State Farm for our various policies we have with them, and then our identity theft. So that brings us to $1,197.07 for the month. That's been pretty steady now for several months. In entertainment, we will have $11.99 for Hulu, $10.99 for Netflix, and then this is going to go down. I think I changed this service, and I think it's going to be about $3.50. So we'll see how that turns out. Cinemark will be $9.62 like normal, and we're setting aside $50. I'm hoping that will be enough. There are 2 big movies coming out in April. I don't think we went to any in March. Maybe we did. I can't remember, but this isn't something that I roll over usually. And so I have a gift card left from Christmas that I got for Cinemark, that is the movie theater that we have locally. So I'm hoping between that and what I have planned here will be enough for us to get to see the 2 movies we want to. So we average about 1 movie a month that we go to, but sometimes they hit 2 in the same month. And April happens to be that month. So in health, I'm going to have nothing for prescriptions. And then for the gym is $10.05. And I'm going to leave this $100 for medical because my claims have been updated on the website. And I can see that I've got about $600 that I'm going to have to pay out of pocket, even though I haven't necessarily been billed by the providers yet. I do have one provider that's billed me $200, so I am going to be using that. For the big ones, I'm going to be using our out-of-pocket. After Henry got his wisdom teeth out in March, we only have about $500 left in our flexible spending, so I'm going to save that for smaller things that Matt will be picking up, like prescriptions and things like that when he goes to his doctor's appointment, so he can pay on the fly using that card. So that brings our total health expenses to $110.05 for April. And then here we have some things that came up in March. I don't plan on having any of these happening, so I'm going to delete these. Right now, I don't see any extras coming up in March that won't be covered by a sinking fund, I guess. In crap, I forgot about that. I didn't have anything in March, but I do have something in April. It's called MileIQ, and we pay for it annually. It costs about $5 a month when you pay for it that way. And we track our personal and business mileage on that. We both have had various side gigs that we do that we can track mileage on over the years. And so we have this every year. And if this is something you're interested in, if you have a side hustle that you would like to be able to write off your mileage that you're using on your personal vehicle, then feel free to click on the link that I'll leave down below in the description. That is an affiliate link, so if you click on it and sign up, I will earn a little bit, but it doesn't cost you any more to use that link. So anyhow, that's what is here, and let's just go real quick and look at the spreadsheet for my annual expenses. Okay, so here is my annual expenses spreadsheet. So what we'll do is we're going to filter by the month of April to see what is coming up in April. So, okay, you can see we have some things coming up that we know are coming. So one of our daughters is having a birthday in early May, so we will likely do this in late April. I will probably pay into Henry's school lunches this month. Then our anniversary is coming up. And while here's the thing about all of these that I listed so far, all of these city utilities, we expect that to be, like I said, it's actually expecting around $250. And then we have the Xander is Henry and Xanthi's little brother. He is going to be 4. And so we usually give Henry money to get a gift for his little brother. So all of these will be covered by sinking funds. So I'm not going to reflect them in my monthly budget right now. What will happen is I will put them in as we have the expenditure And so it'll show, and then I will offset it with income from the sinking fund, so it will zero out. The only one that I didn't already have planned was this one, the MileIQ. I added it obviously at the end of the list because I didn't remember that I had it. So anyhow, I don't need to put any of this into the spreadsheet this time for the format that I'm using for the budget with me. So I'm going to switch back over to the other one now. All right, moving into envelopes here. Let me scroll up so you can see this. Whoops, sorry. Okay, so we have spending for Matt and Jen. This is our Mad Money, $40 each. Household, last month we were finishing off that stock up that we did using our tax money. So this is going to go back to $50. Miscellaneous is $50 to capture, oops, this doesn't apply this month, to capture anything that is carryover from anywhere else or doesn't really fit anywhere else. So we have $180 planned for envelopes. And these are really, they're electronic envelopes. I don't actually have any cash envelopes. Then we have the budget bounce, and I didn't spend anything in education or equipment last month, or I didn't plan on it anyway. And then in subscriptions, I had some things, annual things renew in March. And so this is what we ended up paying out for that. But really, month to month, I only have $9.99 for Adobe Spark. So then moving into savings, here we have the emergency fund, and I am going to, this is a calculation that I've added with an estimate of what I think the interest is going to be based on the accounts that they're in. And so there's a formula in here that does this, but we plan on doing 50 to the emergency fund, 30 to the Henry, 30 to Henry, 20 to Nikayla, and 20 to Xanthi to those funds in April. And then Matt will have $145.88 go in for his retirement, and I'm actually going to end up having 40 going in for mine. Moving into, so we have a total of 305.88, by the way, and this is going to end up, yeah, this is going to end up being the same here. There was an adjustment last month. I like to leave this here so that I can see what the balance is going to be at the end of the month. There was an adjustment in Matt's pay last month, so that was higher than normal. So 305.88 is what we're planning. Then in our sinking funds, so these are the things that there are things coming in and out of them regularly. Like up here, we don't plan to spend these. But here we have auto registrations. We pay every month. And last month, for some reason, we didn't actually pay into that. And I'm not sure why. And then $80 to city utilities, which that is you can see here we have $443 in there. So we will pay that quarterly one up. It was up in housing when I said we have to pay that every April. We're going to use from this fund right here to pay for that. So anyhow, $80 every month is what we put into that. And then clothing, we do 40. Estate planning, I've decided to start increasing this. Xanthi has talked about some things that she'd like to do, and we know we have some things we want to do for our stuff, so we decided to go ahead and just start putting $25 a month in this again so that we can have some funds available when the time comes. Then for gifts, we're doing $40. This is non-holiday things, so birthdays, like wedding and baby showers and graduations and things like that. Henry School, we did not put anything in last month because we had the mathnasium bill that was $319. We normally do $250 a month into his school fund. And so I'm again going to do nothing here because we're going to pay out $319 again. So I'm not putting anything in here since we're going to use it anyway. Holidays, we're doing $50 a month for the year. Image Cosmetics, I didn't put anything in last month because I actually used it, but this month I am going to do my normal 50. Life insurance, this is a separate policy that we have. We're doing $81 into that account. We pay every December for the whole year. Medical, I am going to change this to 0 since I'm paying for it up top, but once I get caught up with everything, I'm going to start doing $25 a month in here. Online subscriptions, this captures a whole bunch of different things. Let me show this. So this has several different things in here, and this isn't all of them. So like I'm going to put in here MileIQ. It shouldn't be $59.99. I'm going to say $5 for MileIQ. Okay, we'll hide that again. All right, pet expense, we do $85 a month into that, and I'm going to change this to reflect to be the full 85. And then for technology, we're doing $25 a month, and then travel $400. This is really for FinCon. And I may have to use a little bit of this for that trip at the end of April with Xanthi to go to Arkansas. And then we have vacation, $100 a month, vehicles, $100 a month, and wedding anniversary, we're planning on 15. So that's $1,149 we're planning on. Our previous balance at the end of March will be $4,565-ish. And then this is how much I expect to come through in interest. And this is how much we spent in March. So I'm going to take all of this out because this doesn't mean anything in April. We have no idea what we're going to spend. And I expect that if we were not to spend any of it, that we were going to end up with $5,719.40. Now, I know for a fact we're going to spend at least $250 out of here. And we're going to spend probably most of this. I'm going to say $125 out of here. So, and I'm going to have another $69 for Henry's school. I'm going to have $15 to get my brows done. I think that's in April. And the rest of this, I think this might be about $50. The rest of this, I don't have any plans to take anything out. So that brings us down to about $5,200 at the end of April if this goes the way that I think it will. This is all just a plan, right? We're looking to see what is going to, we're setting it up so that we have a plan to tell our dollars what to do, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't change along the way. We have budgeted and sometimes the actual ends up being different. So that is sinking funds. And then here's our debt section. And so remember, this list is all the things we've already paid off. And we had paid off Kohl's in February. And then you can see here, this is what we did in March. We planned on paying this much here for each one. Yeah, there we go. And then this is what we actually paid. And you can see we ended up paying a little. I thought it was going to go up to 60 for this minimum payment. And it stayed below 55 for some reason. So we came in under what I planned there. And then for this one, I put an extra $137 to this one. So I'm going to change this to reflect this number. And I'm going to change this one to reflect 55. And if it ends up being different, I'll change that number. But anyhow, up here, the good news is you'll see we have negatives. So we paid off Matt's phone and my phone in March. So we don't plan on doing anything for either one of these anymore. We will just move these up. So this is that credit card that's been sitting out there that I have to do 4 payments to get it paid off, so I didn't have to pay all the fees and everything and the interest. We'll do $380.24, and then to an old care credit card. These are to collectors. Excuse me. We're going to pay $50 into that, $25 into this old this Capital One card. I pay $154.62 every month to my 401k loan. We'll do $55 into this is a private student loan that Matt has. Citi card is going to be the standard $377. Anything extra that I have, we're going to throw to that. Lowe's, this is my card. It's $190 is what we pay every month. We pay $400 to this Visa. This is our car payment, $550. Child support was very high because we had because of our tax returns in March. So I'm going to change this back to the normal, so that's $725. And then my mom and dad is going to change to $150. In the middle of last month, I increased how much I send to them every time I get paid. So we're paying them $150 now. When we started a year ago, we were paying them $100. So total debt payments will be $3,056.86 is what we're planning. Let me do this so you can, there we go. So, and at the start of the month, we're planning on at the end of March, our balance is going to be $220, $424, $71. So that's what's carried over from the previous month. After we make all of these payments and take into account these pesky, I don't know what these are. I'm going to delete these. Some calculation I did. These are the interest that applies to these line items. So, yeah, $200 a month on this credit card, just so anyhow, we're paying $762.74 is what we're planning on in the month of April for interest. So, looks like I'm over. So we need to go see what's going on here. Let me make sure I have everything updated correctly. Okay, so I went ahead and I just paused for a second to go figure out what I did incorrectly. So I had to I made some adjustments up top because I said that I wasn't going to reflect anything we're paying with the sinking fund, and I had actually plugged in some of those numbers, like the $250 for the city utilities and also Henry's mathnasium. So I fixed those, and so now I have $131.99 left over. And so what I want to do with that is I want to add that to the city card because that's where we're focusing our efforts right now, and that total comes to $508.99, and then that brings us to zero for a zero-based budget for the month of April. Now, when I do that, it does adjust things over here, so you can see that we started with $252. The plan, after we take into account interest, will pay about $2,400 down in the month of April, and that will bring our total paid to $34,312 and change. So bumping us into the 13% range of what we've paid off. So yeah, and then this, I don't know why this is not working. Oh, this is not working because I don't have any income up at the top. So let me do this so that you can see what I think that's gonna look like. Now that we have, so you see these are even now. So let's just come back down here. So our plan is to pay 36% to debt in the month of April. Yeah, that's what April's looking like for us. We had some really good months in February and March, and so everything's gonna now steady out a little bit. And we are hoping, we have a lot going on this month. I feel like we have something going on every weekend, except for the first weekend. It's the only weekend we're not going anywhere or doing anything. So, including, let's see, we have Easter, and we're going to go visit my sister, and I'm taking, oh, you know what? I'm not taking Xanthi in May. I'm sorry. I'm not taking her in April to Arkansas. That's going to be in May. The other thing we're doing is we're celebrating our anniversary the last weekend in April. We're combining it with seeing one of Matt's other daughters, Blair, and we're also going to see some of my family who lives in the same place she does. She's going to school and lives in the same city as some of my cousins that I don't get to see very often. So we're going to be doing that the last weekend in April. Anyway, it's going to be fun. So yeah, that is April. That's what we have planned for April. And I appreciate you guys sticking it out with us. And I will be having our March budget report going up in the next few days. That's all I've got for you today. Until next time.